Lexxalou, and welcome back to another episode of What Remains of Edith Finch. So, this is going to be the second episode, and I'm so excited to get back into it and figure out what the heck is happening on this day. Let's do it. Alright. So, if you did not watch last episode, we are trying to figure out the story behind our family member,
I can't
Molly.
describe it, but I felt like some part of Molly was still here.
Well,
I grew
yeah,
up looking at Molly's room through the peephole.
I think it's very strange that her mom would completely seal the rooms, because I think, you know, you kind of want to remember those memories, even sometimes if it makes you a little bit sad, but you don't want to forget your loved ones, you know?
Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage.
Okay, well, I didn't get to go look at it!
Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
Yeah, that's true. You just sit there and you're looking at something your whole life. We're not going there. Okay. Finally getting to step into it would be a very surreal experience. Alright, well, is that all we have to learn about her? What happened to her? I want to know what happened to her. Okay,
This will be
all
obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past.
That's
Though,
very strange.
when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room.
Okay, so this is her great-grandmother's room. She had birds named Flurpy. Flurpy? Wait, hold on. Okay, who's this? Rob. We have Rob, Flurpy, Purpley. Oh gosh, what am I running into? Zerpy, Burpy, Derpy Jr., Burpy, Bob, don't know who the heck this one is, and Derpy. That sounds like me trying to name my animals as kids. I would always just name as kids, yes, because I am plural. No, as a kid, I would always name my stuffed animals the color with E at the end, whether it was purpley or brownie or bluey or pinky. Always, I was so original, just like her. Okay, so she was
Edie knit me a
painting.
new pair of gloves every year, just in time to replace the old ones.
Aw, that's sweet. Are these all paintings? Did you paint these? No. Okay, she was painting on like a tree
Louis
trunk
died
or
a week
something.
before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him.
Okay, so this is what he looked like. Cool, cool. Got a cool vibe going on. Molly, Barbara, Calvin, Sam, Walter, Dawn, Gus. Okay. My brain is still very confused on the whole situation. But we've
When
only
Edie
just
told
started.
people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
You're telling me that he was building a dragon slide that fell on him and ended in a tragedy? What are the chances of that? Is Finn on this? Hold on, how do I... Yeah, he's on here. But I don't know what the leaves mean. That would be different than the ones in blue. Built in 1937. Finn Finch. Okay. Edie won't go.
One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity.
Why did they evacuate? A 72-year-old woman refuses to evacuate because of a little forest fire. Well, it can turn into a big one if you're not careful. Barbara concepts, mural sketches, Molly concepts. Maybe like she liked to memorialize, you know, each family member with different types of concepts. So she had full binders.
I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time.
I'm guessing the great-grandmother's name was Edith, so they called her Edie, and they named her after the great-grandmother.
Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious.
She seems like she had a really big imagination. Shrine sketches. A very interesting woman, I must say. Got oxygen tank, her pills. Or you just up and leave the pills. That's really cute.
Her room was like a museum.
Okay. Oh, we got
For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan.
Okay, so there's a family curse.
On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind.
Okay. So they brought the house from Norway.
But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island.
I'm sorry, Edie, husband Sven and baby Molly step ashore on the... Okay.
Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
Interesting. Okay, so Odin was Edie's father. Odin, Edie's father, and Ingeborg, which is a very interesting name, I might add, very original, is the wife. And they had a son named Johan that was, I guess, Edie's brother, but he doesn't seem to be on this list, so I don't know. I was like, controls, hit every button.
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
It seems to be that way. It's like a dwarf. One of the 7 dwarfs. The Mysteries of Death and Thereafter by Odin Finch. Okay. Joining the Great Majority. I don't know. Look at all the candles. She just owns just boxes and boxes of candles.
Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
It's not a bad thing. Forever young. Me. Oh, we love a shag pink carpet in a bathroom!
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife Kay left on the house was the pink bathroom. It was a pretty big trace.
Yeah, it makes a statement. There's a secret in this bathroom. It's not a real book, that's why.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
Oh, this is cute. Okay.
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Milton was here. He liked to draw pictures. I can't talk today. Okay. Alright, so Calvin Finch. Oh, no, I don't. No, thank you. I don't want to go back. I want to see what's happening here. Sam Finch. I thought this was Calvin's room. Oh, wait. Okay, there's Calvin and Sam. Oh, they were twins. For sure. Twins. Okay. Oh, Odin had a national park named after him. I think that's kind of cool.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin.
Grandpa.
And that he never talked about him.
Okay, that's why this one's blocked off.
I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
Well, it seems like their history isn't the most positive thing in the world.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it.
Oh, he's got a broke foot.
My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't.
Momentum. Let's go.
I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready! Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that, maybe if the wind hadn't picked up, then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother. The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
My thing is, that story makes sense, but Molly's story doesn't really make any sense. Which I could be dumb. That's a very high possibility of what
After the
happened.
funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room. Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
Yeah, that would just kind of be hard to look across the way of where your living space is and see that. Well, that's kind of cool. Well, isn't this just an empty place? Okay. That's so cool. What?
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
Okay.
Growing up, I always thought
Oh,
of
she was
Barbara
an
as a
actress.
child star.
She was. Okay. That's what I saw based off of that picture we looked at. Bigfoot.
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards. Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Wait, what? They wrote stories about her death.
Old Jack
What?
here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it
Aw.
The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch.
Oh, this voice acting is great.
As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been.
Oh.
But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret
we saw
is
that.
to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe.
Okay.
I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
Why would he put the key back in there? Oh no!
She found Rick's crutch
13.
and imagined the worst.
Or is this Michael Myers?
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
Dr. Carl Hamill? What is that? That's a nightmare in itself. This is the one that he cut his hand on. Okay.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Oh
Oh!
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare
Like
you
Stranger
to help you
Things.
find your scream.
Well, I'm
Barb!
not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah!
Oh
Okay,
no.
I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
this way because that's blocked off.
Walter,
Oh, this is the one that
are
was
you there? Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Slasher!
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And he was. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara. There's gotta be another way out of here.
That night, she played her part beautifully. She thought about abandoning Walter, but just couldn't do it.
Guess we need to go out this door.
Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned. He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet.
Well, duh. Not yet. Where the heck is Walter?
The hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was... At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter, hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
What? I'm so confused. Ew, that's gotta be rotch nasty. It's got like mold. Ew. That's gross. What is that? Excuse me, Barbara. What is that under your bed? Young lady, you come out this instant! Okay. Let's see. Oh, is that it? Okay. I didn't know. I thought that was something else. Okay. Well, if that's the end of Barbara's story, I think I'm going to go ahead and end off this episode here. It's very interesting. It's very, very interesting. My brain hurts a little bit, but the voice acting is amazing. And the way they would go about telling a story like that out of a comic with the amazing voice actor was awesome. So I'm really loving this so far. I love games like this, so I'm excited to kind of figure out the entire story, and hopefully it gives us a little bit more in depth about the family, and kind of, I don't know if it'll actually say like what actually happened to some of them, but you know, I understand like with Barbara and then Calvin, but Molly still quite doesn't make sense to me. So maybe we'll find out later. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm going to go ahead and end off this episode here. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already. And comment down below how you're liking this series so far. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!